It's that time of the week where Chef Nicole helps us out with our dinner plans. Today, she has a fall soup the whole family will love.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Taste of the Ozarks. Fall is officially here. Those evenings and overnights are getting quite chilly and it has become soup season. And I have a delicious fall soup that's super easy to make. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna make our butternut squash and bacon soup. First of all, in our pan, we have taken some bacon, we've chopped it up and we've gotten it nice and crispy, and then we've removed it from the pan. And then we went ahead and added some celery, carrots, and onions, or mirepoix, into our pan with our butternut squash. We'll go on over here and look at our pan really quick. So you can see we've got our vegetables in here and we've let them get nice and soft in this pan. When we cooked our bacon, we had a lot of brown on the bottom of the pan, and now you can see that that's in that liquid at the bottom of the pan. That's exactly what you want, because all that liquid is flavor. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take all of these vegetables and just remove them from the pan. You want to make sure that they're really good and tender, because the next step for these vegetables is going to be going straight into a blender or a food processor. Now, if you wanted a broth-based soup rather than a creamy soup, you don't have to puree these vegetables up, but generally for a butternut or really any kind of squash soup, you like to have the squash nice and pureed up, because squash just naturally has a really good and creamy texture, and we want to take advantage of that nice creamy, comforting texture. So once we've gotten all, if not most, of these out of here, we are going to go ahead and add our bacon back into this pan. And then we are also going to take some chopped kale and add this into the pan as well. You don't have to add kale if you don't want to. You could also add spinach. It's got a lot of great vitamins to it. It honestly has a lot of really good texture and flavor to it as well. We're just gonna kind of let this kale get nice and glossy. You want it all to look a little bit wet and just a little on the wilty side. But fortunately for kale, spinach, all of those things, they really don't take a whole lot of time for that process to happen. We just want to get a little bit of heat on those. And you can see it's kind of absorbed already all of the liquid that was in the bottom of the pan. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our vegetable broth. I'm gonna reach around you, I'm so sorry. I should add this on the other side. Yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Add that vegetable broth right in. And this is gonna do a couple of things. It's gonna help us to continue to do what's called deglazing our pan. I don't know if you can see that brown stuff kind of stuck to the bottom of the pan there, but as you let this broth warm up, it's gonna remove all of that brown, and that's just gonna enrich the flavor of the broth that goes in here. So again, we'll give this a little bit of a stir. We wanna give that broth just a minute to heat up. And then we've taken our celery, carrots, and onions and our butternut squash, and we've pureed it in a blender. You can use a food processor as well. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of just push that down into there. This soup absolutely just tastes like fall. It smells like fall. It's got a wonderful consistency and flavor to it. That broth is gonna thin down this butternut squash and vegetable puree mixture and make it just a nice creamy soup texture. The bright, colorful kale adds just some visual contrast as well as some texture into the soup. Just a little bit more of a stir here. Get that all nicely combined. And then I like to finish this off with just a little bit of heavy cream. You don't have to. At this point, your soup could be ready to go and you could just go ahead and dish it right up. But I like the richness of the heavy cream. It also lightens up the color of the soup as well. You don't need a lot, just a little bit of heavy cream in there. And then you want to make sure that you taste it, but at this point is when you'd add your finishing salt and pepper just to get it to that right seasoning level that you want in there. And then we'll give this just one last good stir. You can see that the cream is already lightening up the color of the soup, and it helps to pull together all the flavors as well. Get that all really well stirred up. We've got the wonderful saltiness of the bacon, the kind of earthy, almost slightly bitterness of the kale in here, and then just that sweet, rich creaminess of the butternut squash. And this just overall makes an absolutely wonderful soup. So we'll go ahead and dish this into our bowl here. You can see that wonderful, nice broth, good and creamy. Lots of good texture from the butternut squash. One last little scoop there, and you can see, I mean, this just looks like fall in a bowl. That beautiful orange color, like I said, the salty from the bacon, the earthiness from the kale. This soup is absolutely delicious, super simple, makes excellent leftovers if you want to make extra as well. It's a great fall soup. Give it a try. We'll see you guys next time on Taste of the Ozarks.